No, not something even better than that. Now it's who was playing those Gits, those really nicely painted Gits, Blake.
Blake.
Yeah, he's got a lot of extra Stormcasts, and he's like, hey, like I give them to you for a fair price, and I was like, Long Strikes, Vigilers, Lord Commander Bastion, Carthalos. I'll take all of it.
Very nice. Yeah. All right, guys. Welcome back to Rolling Recklessly, the Warhammer podcast where plans fall apart, dice go wild, and we roll with it anyways. I'm Grizzly, and today's episode is all about getting reps in, learning our armies, and gearing up for something new for us. Because we've got our first team tournament coming up. So, we're heading to House of Hobbies team tournament at Gamers Guild April 18th and 19th, and I'm not going to lie, I'm super hyped. This is going to be the first time we're running a 3-man team format where the matchups going to be defenders, attackers, and there's actually strategy happening before the game even starts. Unfortunately, Zach won't be able to make this one, but we've got Brendan stepping in, our Trogoth player, and he's going to be bringing in some serious beef to the table. So today's plan is simple. We're going to start with some more table talk, break down the games that we played this week, and what we worked on, what we didn't, and what we've been learning going into this tournament. Then we'll talk about the team tournament itself and what we're expecting, how the format works, and what we're looking forward to. And then, of course, I've got my warband brother Jesse with me today, so we're going to have some good games, some good banter, and probably a few bad dice rule stories along the way. Jesse, what's up, man? How are you feeling going to the team tournament, and what's your first time?
I'm nervous. GT's just the competition level, the list that will be in play. It's a different level than your usual casual play. So a little nerve wracking, but I'm excited. I'm really excited to use this list, and I feel I'm ready. And I love playing the Stormcast, so it's going to be fun. I really got to get some painting done though.
Yeah, exactly. I gotta, especially I've seen there's a couple things I know for sure I'm running. Like most of my army's painted now. Especially I'm gonna be going Sylvaneth again, baby. Let's go.
Yeah,
But I'm very excited. It's that new Sylvaneth too.
yeah.
Gonna be with
You,
Stormcast, yeah.
you guys get your book right before the tournament, right?
Yeah, it's the day of the tournament list are due.
Wow,
So
that's amazing.
yeah.
So you
Well, it
get all those
seems like
great new rules.
yeah, which I mean, I would have never seen these rules before because they're not out yet. You know what I mean? So, but
Yeah.
I imagine they're great. You know what I mean? I think they're really great. I really like the
From
alleged
what
growing
we've
corruption.
seen,
Yeah.
the hints we've seen, we'll call them hints.
The
The
entirety of
hints
the
we've
battle tome.
seen,
Yeah.
yeah, of the
Somebody
new battle
hinted the
tome.
entire battle tome.
Your army is safe. It's in good hands. Again, the Mystic Mac predictions came in,
It
and
is,
we
man.
were right.
That is one thing we haven't really talked yet too much, so I'm excited to talk a little bit about that because we did we're pretty on point for like predictions as far as this year's going. Um, and you called it, man. They got rid of the strike and fade.
I did call that, but this army that you have is pretty much battle ready, and you might have to paint a few dryads or a few spite revenants here and there, but you're not going to have to do a whole lot of work to get what you have table ready. And that's the big difference when you're trying to play multiple armies. It's hard to have multiple armies table ready, and you and I kind of have a standard when it comes to table ready. Well, there's some fast approaches we could take, and we just refuse because we're just kind of purists in that matter. So here we go, Stormcast and Sylvaneth again for the millionth time.
No, I think you're right, but I'm excited. Actually, let's get into hit our war table talk. We got a lot of good games in this week, and honestly, it's one of those things that kind of help the prep of getting this tournament going and getting reps, getting tested, figuring out what's working on the table. So, me and you got a 2K game in last week. I got
Yeah,
to debut my Seraphon as like a real 2K list. It was a blast, man.
yeah, I like Seraphon. I know they haven't got their book yet, and so they're kind of like this dormant army that's just waiting to have their moment to shine. And I know it's coming soon. A big new dinosaur, a cool new unit. It's not going to take much to make the Seraphon be like, "Oh, we're back in the spotlight. Everybody wants our shit again." So I hope that happens because I saw how powerful your army was at 2,000 points. Just chewed right through my whole rat army, and I was just like, yeah, that looks like a fun list to play. You know, it kind of reminds me of like it's like orders slaves to darkness. You know what I mean? Like where it can just come in and just punch right away.
Yeah, you know what I mean. They don't save quite as well, but it's
No.
super solid. I really like them. They were a lot of fun to play. I almost kind of don't want them to get a new book because their rules right now are so good, you know. And from if we look at this trend of like the last few books, how they've gone is they've been complete overhauls, right? Ever
Yes.
since ever since Nurgle came out, everything's been a complete overhaul. All the stuff that came out last year, with the exception of Hellsmiths, which was like, you know, brand new army. Flesh Eater Courts was pretty similar to what they were before that. I think Soulblight. I think maybe Ideneth changed a little bit, but not too much. You know what I mean? After Nurgle came out, though, it seemed like everybody's book was like a completely different book.
Yeah, Tzeentch was
OBR is like
completely
the biggest.
different.
Yep, OBR I think was a big one that people noticed right away. And then obviously my Sylvaneth, everything changed on Sylvaneth. A lot of
Daughters
stuff
of Cain
changed
is
in
going to be
Daughters.
different.
Yep,
Yep.
exactly. So I'm not too sure right now. I'm really enjoying like the current rule set that the Seraphon have.
Yeah, I like the two like Asteriums you can pick. Like they've got so much cool buffs. You
Yeah,
know, like the way to stop rend in your territory. Yeah, they got a lot of good rules. And again, you're the only person I know that I'm encountering playing them. So yeah, I hope they just get like a cool new big like T Rex or you
that'd be
know
cool.
like something
Yeah,
like that. Some
I've
kind of huge like Carnifex. I feel like
yeah.
it'll make people go, oh, I want Seraphon again.
You know, I've seen a lot of really cool people talking online about, you know, so everybody's getting the what is this thing, the new fort. It's the City Sigmar one, the
Yeah,
really
the
cool
cog
one,
fort.
the Cog fort. So I've seen a bunch of people, you know, everybody's gonna get one. So everyone's doing like their own conversions, and it seems like a lot of people are doing like dinosaurs on the bottom, like being
That's
carrying
hilarious.
I saw one guy did like a Bastillodon. They're really cool, a bunch of really cool ones. I think they should do it like a cool like sauropod, like a long neck. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That I think that would be really cool if they got something like that. Just a new monster would be really nice. They have a bunch of really cool monsters, but the models are old. Maybe like refreshes on them because they have
for
pretty good
sure.
models for like their small like battle line models or like were recently refreshed and look great. You know what I mean?
I
The
really like
Agrodons look
Croak. I
great.
really like Slan. I really like both of them. They're really cool. They're
Yeah,
unique.
they got refreshes. You know what I mean? They had
Yeah,
like old Warhammer Fantasy models, and they were not. The
not as good
Slan
as these
was,
new ones.
yeah, not nearly as good. They were all right,
Yeah.
but it just not the new ones look really nice. So I think the big dinosaurs could use a refresh. But yeah, let's talk over some of our lists. So I was running a Soggy Carnosaur, the Warspawn Croxagors, Agrodons, and then I had some of the little skin cavalry to kind of like support and buff everybody up. And then I also gave me like a little bit of like shooting, you know what I mean? Some little mobility shenanigans that I could kind of do. My main idea was to kind of just pressure you in with monsters, throw in some big hammers, you know what I mean, for you to really deal with and to try to like lock down and hide from like the shooting when I could.
Yeah.
Um, what was your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I had a Vermin Lord Warpseer, who was like a two cast wizard, and he helped just kind of like be near my cannons and stuff. So try to get some shots off. And then I had a some storm fiends and some rat ogres. And again, they're just your standard rat unit stuff. You know what I love
Yeah.
about the Skaven? It's like the Stormcasts are pretty straightforward to run, but the Skaven, it's like they can be run in a million different ways, and it's going to take a lot of time to learn how to use that army. And it's just unfortunate you have to paint so many models to have it like table ready
Yeah, I
because I
feel
would
you.
love to give them more time. So I bet in my casual games I'm gonna get a lot more reps with them than I will like at a GT or at an RTT. But
Oh, definitely.
yeah, there's just
I'll be
something
honest.
just there's just
Yeah,
something
when
funny about even like just playing as Skaven, just going in and everything exploding and dying. It's just very
yeah.
on lore with them.
Oh, definitely. They're like a very thematic army, and I just wanted to give you your flowers. It was nice to see you playing something like that was big, and I think Skaven is it's very different from like the traditional style that you like to play. I know
Yeah,
you're a real big fan of like that 3-up save, threes to hit, threes to wound. I know you're a big fan of that, but I feel like the way you roll, like now it's really cool to see you like run something a little more techy, a little more difficult. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because the Stormcaster, I love the Stormcaster. I'm not gonna lie. Like if you were to move away, like bro, I'm playing Stormcast.
I know my
But
fellow Stormcast players could probably agree with me, but like the rules can get a little bit stale. Like I don't feel like our rules are overly complex in Stormcast. And if
yeah,
you find a rule set you like for me, it's that Ruination one. We're getting the 5-up ward to a Ruination unit. I basically use that the entire like edition, and it can get a little long in the tooth. You know what makes it fun is like changing up the units, but as far as rules go, and my best day ever, and the 5-up ward, and I can heaven sent a unit. These are all things I've done a million times. They're like clockwork now. Where
yeah, it was
Skaven,
pretty straightforward.
where Skaven, it really does feel on brand. I'm going in there. I don't really have a plan. I'm just sending rats in different directions and seeing which ones
Yeah,
will explode something on their way through. So
exactly.
it is a lot more fun. You know what I mean? It kind of reminded me of Corn, without the damage. You know what I mean? It's like it's still a lot of the moving around and having an obscene amount of dice to roll, and
Exactly. I like seeing you
it's
roll the clan rats rolls.
yeah, they're always like, all right, here's your attack. It's 3d6 plus 3. You're like, what? All right. Every roll feels like a big gamble, and it's really on point for the army. And things you went catastrophic in my game, because most of my war machines like got pulled into combat, and those Croxagors, they hit so hard, and a reinforced unit of them is just, it's like a bazooka.
Yeah, it is really hard. I felt like I like them a lot. There, like the Seraphon, big hammer. Our
hmm
turn ones, like I know it was last week, so it was a little bit since we played. But it was. I know. I think I had all of my guys in the front.
Yeah.
I think that I had less drops than you, right? Or did I maybe win the roll?
Yeah, maybe
Maybe
something like that.
I think I went first, and then I moved all my yeah. I went first, and I remember I pushed forward. I did give the astericisms. I did the two astericisms on the Carnosaur, so I could pick two from the beginning, and I gave myself the speed, and I gave myself the companion weapons have crit 2 hits.
Yeah. Those are
Such a
such
cool.
good rules. Yeah.
Yes, such good rules. That's why I'm like, oh, please don't change the rules. I like what they have. The
Yeah,
crit 2 hits is so cool for
and
the
as an
companion
OBR
weapons.
player, like we experienced them taking crit 2 hits away from our units, and I feel like they're probably going to start doing that a lot.
It
Crit
does
two
seem like
hits,
that.
crit mortals, these seem like really special like keywords that they're trying to reserve for just a select few units. And
Yeah,
it sucks, but yeah, I see what you mean. But yeah, I feel like the next round of books, it's gonna be Seraphon. They got to be on that next round.
yeah. I'm excited though because I think that the crit 2 hits, like you said, it's super cool. But I remember, so I pushed forward, and I remember that one part where I think it really fell apart for you is there was like a little gap between like the building and your clan rats. Like you kind of pulled in to tuck in to make like your castle, and I was like, all right, cool. I think I auto ran, remember, and I was able to run and charge. Is that what it was? Yeah. Oh, I had the spell lore where you can cast a spell where you can let one unit run and charge, and I ran the Croxigors right up the front and in
Yeah,
between this little gap and got into the cannons. And I think
yeah.
that's where like that between there and like staying in obscured, is really hard. I felt like the shooting you could really see in this game that shooting was really the obscuring. You know what I mean? Is really effective. It really like presses shooting armies.
Yeah, I didn't really get to do any of my shooting stuff that I would have done as like the War Machines, but
Yeah.
they are really cool rules, and they're really fun to play with. I know a lot of people kind of go really heavy into like the big molder like units like Rat Ogres and Storm Fiends, and I love those too, and I run those too, but yeah, there is a lot of cool shooting units, but yeah, unfortunately I didn't get to shoot with any of them. But yeah, it's still a fun list. I'll try it again. I guess like, again, it's just like I don't know when. It's just there's so much, and none of it's painted, and it's daunting. It's daunting to get that freaking army table ready.
Yeah, that was the one. That was the one decider I had when I was like, oh, I would love to play Seraphon or Gith or something, but it's like
to
No,
get a table ready.
yeah, like with
Your
the
alternative lists are so like model heavy too. It's like, oh,
oh,
me
so
too.
heavy, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially the Gits, like those are horde armies. I was thinking about going
Yeah.
the Jed route, just it's all red.
Yeah, yeah. He showed us that triple spray on his corn army, and I was like, yeah, that might be the way on some of this. Like, I don't want to do. I don't want to paint 60 Blood Reavers. I don't. I don't want to paint.
Yeah,
40 Blood Warriors.
yeah,
It's just it sounds daunting, and then the rats, bro. I'm like, some people are like, take 60, take 80 clan rats. I'm like, oh man, no,
yeah,
no, please. But yeah, it is pretty funny. It's hard. I'm used to playing with such small units. Stormcasters 5 or 10 units. So having to be like, okay, let's move these 40 clan rats. I'm like, where can I position them better? But yeah, I can definitely tell like having 2, 3, 4 MSU units of like clan rats. You have this wide like net screen that you just cast out.
yeah, exactly. You're just like you're covering a good chunk of the board. You know what I mean? I know like those screens are just kind of obnoxious, man, to try to like get through. Like
Yeah,
just being there, you're like, yeah, these are gonna die, but I don't care because I'm just gonna make more.
yeah, and I mean I know you'll have that with your gits too. So like. You
Yeah.
have that with your dryads now too. Like I saw them putting in work, so
Oh, they were good. I was excited. We'll talk that more
we'll
when
talk
I
about
talk
that
about the
later.
dance game. But
Yeah,
yeah. So let's finish our Seraphon game. That Seraphon and Skaven game was a lot of fun. I remember I ran in, I got into the artillery, and I think it kind of all fell apart from there for you.
yeah.
Like
I got into the
between there and
Giselles too.
hiding between hiding in the obscuring, and then moving
Yeah,
forward in, I could see it did kind of fall apart. And then yeah, exactly. I got into the Giselles. I got to use my Agrodons. That +2 to movement astericism, I think, is huge for the army.
yeah,
Um, they're just it's really hard. You know what I mean? I know you were smart. You kept it back in the very far back, so that
yeah,
I didn't just run in so you can't shoot with them. And even then, man, I feel like I ran all the way around. God,
yeah,
all the way back into your back line without even
yeah.
teleporting.
And again, I feel like in this edition of Age of Sigmar, it's really easy to get like something all the way across the board. Like
I
I
think
just
you're
see
right.
it happen in every game. You know what I mean? As the defending player and who's like, you know, waiting to go second, it can be tough for you with how quickly people can get across the board now. Although people still say going, second is the preferred thing. They want to go second, control the double turn. But
Yeah,
I don't know. In my experience, I'm like sometimes you don't get a chance to do anything with your army, and then you spend your whole game on your heel, on your back foot, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to play that way. I'd rather go in and then like get clapped on the retaliation and be like, well, at least I tried. I don't want to be like,
I
I don't want to be like,
like it.
I just waited on my back line to try to fight my way out of this. And
Yeah,
I felt that way, man, playing against Soul Blight, playing against FAC. I'm like, man, they got into my back line quick, and there's just a lot of them. They're all back here. So,
yeah,
yeah, it's interesting, and it's weird because when we were setting up our battlefield, we had to like put those little extra mats down to make it fit, uh, you know, and even at 60 by 44, you can run out of space quickly, and it's just interesting. It's a fun game to play, and I know with Skaven, I got to get better about movement and planning movement and setting up better, and I'll get there. But they're a fun army to play, bro. And we talked about it last week. Like they're still getting models. Their models are still relevant. Like their rules are still good. It's still paying off to be a Skaven player, and that's what I want to see for the Seraphon. I want you guys to start getting little new things, maybe a new your third spearhead or something, and
that would be nice. Yeah, I'm excited. I
something to
I
talk
like
about other than
Skaven.
the Spawn Chotek.
Yeah, exactly. But I know I really like to like how I like your list. I like you said we don't have a lot of like reps in on these guys.
Yeah,
I think Nova jumped into our chat and she actually said, yeah, she was even saying that like going second lets you react a little better. So I can kind of see that you kind of like let people play like you know what I mean. You're playing against them as opposed to like you can let them make mistakes. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Um, That's one of the things. Like that was like one of the big takeaways you could kind of see. Is from that is that you can just kind of push into that. But
Yeah, when you have valuable assets that are like shooting war machines or like a big like monster unit that has like terrible saves, like saves on fours or fives, you really want to screen really well with your like small battle line and infantry units. Um, I'm used to having a really cushioned saved at like threes or having wards of five, and so it could make me careless with my deployment and my movement, and that's something I got to work on playing with my rats. But I feel like playing with rats and playing with corn, it's gonna give me a lot of practice with that.
nice, yeah. I think you're right. That was like probably like your big takeaway you got from that game, right?
Yeah, my big takeaway was learn to screen better, measure out some distances. There was no reason I couldn't have been further back with some of my war machines. I was just I was being like Skaven. I was like, get in there, shoot, 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 shoot.
Yeah, yeah. It was really cool. Like it was nice too because when you were shooting, you were hitting like you said, it's like 3d6 shots. Like it's
Yeah, I'm
total
like, all right, this
total
is
bullshit, man.
3d6 shots, Ren
But it's
2,
and you're
Cannon
like, yeah,
G3.
15 shots. I'm like, this motherfucker.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Like if you want just a lot of variation, and you know what I mean, because remember, I'm always like the same things. 10 attacks, threes into threes, over and over again. But when you're playing as Skaven, it's like there's a variation in your attacks. Some of their
yeah,
things are really silly. Like the Storm Fiends, they have a melee unit in that 3-man block that has shot gauntlets, and it's 4 attacks. But if one of them crits, then it D6 hits. So
yeah.
there's just nutty rules like that alter all the like hitting and rolls and attacks. And we were talking about lend a claw hand, like that's one of the funniest like abilities they have.
Such a cool ability though. I love it. Give him an extra attack.
Yeah. And so yeah, I just love it. I love how we have these armies we're busting into now, and just having some fun times with. I'm interested to see Zach has Soul Blight, and you've got KO that have still like kind of been lurking in the shadows, and I'm like, I know that's going to be a tough list to play, but
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
going to be
Yeah,
fun for you.
yeah. I've of course, no, that's it's gonna be a blast. I'm excited to play my shooting armies. I think
I almost feel like
it
you
was
got a
really
new army
crazy.
all with through getting the new Sylvaneth book too. Like it almost feels like Sylvaneth are brand new too.
So I was talking earlier, like in the last few episodes, how like, oh yeah, I want to start a new like, just jump into one of these new armies and do this. But like now that I've played like that book, the new book is awesome. It does feel like an entirely different army. All the
Yeah,
tactics, all the traits, everything are different. And once we run it at the team tournament, we'll see. Like I want to try to play some of my other stuff too. And it's not like we don't get enough games in now. We're getting like 2 games a week basically. So
yeah,
it's nice. Like I have multiple choices of times to run it, and like I think I'm gonna do like what you do, like casually like switch in that other army. You know what I
yeah,
mean? But for right now, I kind of it was fun playing Seraphon. I'm sure you had a blast playing your Skaven. It was fun playing against your Skaven. It's
yeah.
nice seeing that brown
The
mob
chocolate
across the
brown rats,
table.
baby. Yeah.
Yeah, those
You know
Paysan
me.
days. Get them across the table.
I gave him that chocolate rain. I was like,
Yeah,
shh. Yeah,
yeah,
you know me. I was like, I love to like base paint my models what they're mostly going to be like painted as, and I was like,
yeah.
I want this chocolate brown to be the base fur, and I don't know which gray I'll use as like the under like skin tone for them, but man, painting what could be 60 to 80 clan rats, have mercy, have mercy,
Yeah,
have
yeah.
mercy.
That's
But
exactly. I was looking. I was like, dude, just the Warriors like unit. Like that's one unit of 20. Like that's gonna be a lot. you know.
yeah, I look at your dinosaur list, all those Raptidons, all those Croxagores,
Yep.
the Carnosaur. I'm like, oh
The
yeah,
Carnosaur I
he's
feel
got.
like is gonna be fun. I want my Carnosaur to look really nice. That's why I'm gonna take the time but it's a big model and the model itself looks really good and it's got all those little cracks and stuff for like the washes to fill in. I think it'll
Oh
be
yeah,
really
it's gonna look so good. Oh yeah, and I just feel like reptile skin just pops so much on a model.
agreed. Yeah, scales look really really nice. So as
Yeah,
far as that game goes, I got a couple questions for you. What do you think the biggest threat to you in that game was?
Croxagores, bro. I mean, I just feel like Croxagores are going to slam whatever they go into. And your
Agreed.
best bet to stay safe against them is to try to like knock them off with either shooting or just going strike first or hitting into them first. But you let a unit of Croxagores go into you and they have strike first or they're hitting you first, they're deleting something. Every time I've ever seen them hit the board, they deleted a unit.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
like
was
you're
just
gonna have a
like,
bad time.
yeah, I was like, Croxagore is really strong. That Carnosaur is really strong. I really like the Carnosaur. You know, the Raptidons are okay. I see their purpose in the army, but they're cool. The Saurus Warrior is another thing that's like I feel like a big brick of those are a safe like home holding objective. You know what I mean? Like you're like I'm gonna put these on my home objective, and
I
that's
don't
a
know if you
lot you got to
remember,
try to chew through.
I had that one block of 20 sitting on that one objective the whole time, and I was like, I dare you
Well,
just come over
yeah, I
here.
was like, I really like they're like a little unsung hero in the back there. They're like, I know our job isn't very fucking glorious, but you can't take this objective. There's too
Yeah.
many.
Yeah, there's too many. Like, there's not enough objective for you to cover that they're not covering. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah,
like screened out too well.
yeah, that was a nice like little pool of Saurus warriors. So yeah, I think your rules are cool, your models are cool. Can't wait to see them all painted up.
Same, same.
I feel like they're pretty good at getting any one of the objectives from at least GHB 2025, 2026. I know those
They're
rules
good
are
at some
about
of
to
them.
change, but yeah, I
Yeah,
feel like they could easily get attuned to Gyran. I could see them getting Restless Energy, Wrathful Cycles. These are all ones I think that the Seraphon will play well with. So yeah, maybe we'll once we progress a little bit with these sub armies, you can finally get them out there in the community and people can start seeing these dinos.
yeah.
I'm
Hopefully
not
we
gonna
can get
warn
like a good.
anyone.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully we'll get like with the new rules, like better battle tactics. You know what I mean? Like these ones aren't bad, but I want some better ones.
Yeah, you know me. I've been running the same ones: Restless
Yeah,
Energy and
restless
Wrathful
and wrathful
Cycles.
cycles.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I just love those ones, and yeah, I'm ready for it to change. I'm ready to see what else they have. But these are the ones we have to rock with, and even the battle plans too. I'm like, all right, I'm ready for a couple new battle plans.
yeah. No, 100% with you on that one. I'm super excited for this new GHP, but I think that's gonna be for a different episode. Overall, though, we had super fun game. I had a blast.
Yeah,
I think it was one of those things that like it was nice because we got to start learning, like something new. We got those two new 2K armies, and it'll be nice to kind of sub these in on like those like Thursday Friday night games. Especially you were telling
yeah.
me about you went to Hobby Forge, right? Like I'm down to start
Oh
trying out like
yeah.
all these new stores. I'm excited to see.
Hobby Forge. It was over there in Sun City, Arizona, and it's a little bit more of a drive than like going to Gamers Guild North Phoenix is, but I really liked the vibe of the shop, and the owner was very friendly, and there was people there playing Age of Sigmar, and there was so much Age of Sigmar product, and you could just tell Age of Sigmar is important to the store, and that was just charming to me because I was just like, everybody's always giving the pat on the back to 40K and everything 40K is doing. And I just like to see Age of Sigmar kind of being like the central focus of a shop. And I'm like, these guys are obvious that they're into Age of Sigmar. And if you need Age of Sigmar stuff, Hobby Forge, probably have something that you need. And it was a really cool shop. So I could see us playing games there. It's a little bit on the like more constrained side, it's not as big as a Gamers Guild is. It's not like a big warehouse, but yeah, I could definitely see me and you getting a game of 2,000 points there on a Saturday or Sunday, and it would be a lot of fun. And that was one of the first things the owner asked when I walked in. He was like, "Do you want a table?" Like, and they had wargaming tables, proper wargaming tables, well, really thematic terrain. And I'm like, "Oh wow!" Each board is its own terrain with matching mat. I was like, "This is really cool." So I like that.
That's pretty sick. Yeah, I'm excited to go, especially like when they really support like the hobby. Like you said, like 40K, they get the nod always. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
it's sick when you see that everybody hosting like, dude, you have Sigmar stuff, sick. Let's go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sigmar deserves its like attention and spotlight. It's worked so hard in my eyes. I'm like
agreed.
Sigmar has worked really hard to be where it's at right now.
I agree. Please don't blow it up, Games Workshop.
Oh
But
man, I can't
I think
handle that. I can't handle that. I don't think it's gonna happen.
No, I don't think it is going to happen. But I'm excited to check out Hobby Forge. You were saying they got a bunch of cool stuff, so I'm excited to check that. I want to see the tables. I really like that. You were saying that like the terrain and everything showed up nice and thematic.
Yeah, nice
I think Nova's
thematic
asking
terrain.
us, have you been to Player Draw? Nova is asking. I've never been to Player Draw. Have you?
No, but I know people within the community that we play have been to play and draw, and
You know,
I
I
know
seen
it's
someone talking about it in the Discord the other day.
yeah, I know they've got a big Sigmar community over there too. So like, we're definitely gonna have to make the trek out there and check that out. You know, I've been there as a customer for like Magic cards, but yeah, I didn't know about their Sigmar community, so we'll have to check that out.
Yeah, no, we'll have to check that out. That's what that guy was saying. So, like I said, as long as you're willing to support the hobby, the nice thing is like it's kind of like a shitty thing that like all the stores that we go and play at now are like kind of far. Um, we used to have a location that was right down the road, and it was really really nice. Aside from our house, but it seems like
Yes.
we're about 20 minutes from like 5 different really good stores. So it's exciting to kind of see that.
Yeah, definitely. You know, you don't have to travel very far to get some Age of Sigmar merch. It's been definitely hurting our wallets, but
Yeah.
it's everywhere, and people are trading in the community too. You know what I mean? I know I've gotten some sweet trade deals recently from those in the community, and it's just like I said, the hobby's growing. Like people are interested, and I'm gonna see. I feel like we're gonna see more Sylvaneth and Doc players here soon.
Yeah, no, definitely we're going to. I bet. I called Gamers Guild because normally I got my pre-order hookup and I didn't have it anymore, which is kind of sad. But Gamers Guild, I
Yeah.
called them and they said that they got a bunch of like extra doc books and so on. So
Oh,
I'm
let's
excited. I'm
go.
excited for that. So speaking of Gamers
Yeah.
Guild, that's where we've been going every Friday night now. Friday night
Oh
is
yeah.
Age of Sigmar night at Gamers Guild. So if you want to come and chill with us, come play with us, come hang out with us. If you want to get in an awesome game of Gamers Guild, or
Yeah.
a game of Sigmar, meet us down at Gamers Guild on Friday nights. They have a huge group up there. The hosts up there are great. All those guys are really, really sick. So far, I haven't had any like bad games, any bad interactions. Everybody's been very, very friendly there. And Gamers Guild is very hosting to like when you're playing, man. If you go up there,
Yeah.
it's wild that sometimes they're out of tables. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes they run out of
Yeah.
tables,
It
but
can
it's
be
like,
packed.
bro, you guys got like 60 tables up in there. That is sick that you can run out of tables. That is
For
wild
sure.
when you have that many tables. We've been going the last like 3 weeks, 4 weeks ever since like we made our big shift. And dude, there's 12, 16, 18 people there every
Yeah.
time. You know what I mean? Which is pretty it's dope to see the representation for Sigmar.
And even outside of our little group that's led by House of Hobbies, and those guys, they're all such a great community and great players. But I'll go like a few tables down, and even just people outside of our group, they're still playing Sigmar, bro. This thing, it's catching on. Like people are representing for the hobby, and I'm just so proud of Sigmar and seeing it grow, bro. Like I always like remember to humble myself. I was like, I remember it was just me and Robert playing, and we had to just try to make
Yeah.
it work, just me and him playing.
Yeah.
And so it's nice to have such variety and people ready to play and opponents
Yeah.
and
It is sick.
everybody's so passionate and so like into their armies. It's just it can make a grown man tear up.
So it's wild because for a long time I was like, bro, we love Sigmar. Nobody loves
Yeah.
Sigmar more than us. And then you go there
Yeah.
and you meet my opponent, Dan Sanchez, who's got a sleeve of Sigmar stuff. Like
Oh
a
man.
legitimate tattooed sleeve Sigmar stuff.
Oh my gosh. Super fan.
Yeah, that's why I was like, damn, bro, you might like Sigmar more than me. I'll give you that. Like, also see
Yeah.
that to you. There's people I think that are better than me, but I don't know if there's people that like it necessarily as much as I do. It's like,
A
I'll
sleeve of
give it to you, bro. I'll give you. You might be me there.
a sleeve of Sigmar is hardcore, and I love that, bro. I mean, it would intimidate me at the table. I'd be like, oh no, what have I got myself into?
You should start. We got Magister Goose. I love the name, by the way. He jumped in saying he's thinking about starting Sigmar. You should start Sigmar. Get a
Absolutely.
spearhead. That's all you need to get is a spearhead box. I promise.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And you won't want to get any more boxes after that.
Yeah,
I
definitely. I would
promise.
I would say if you find one other person to play Spearhead with, it's very easy to get into the hobby. There's so many like companion boxes, there's so many starter boxes, there's so many ways in the secondary market to get that first spearhead of models. And yes, Age of Sigmar, it's the best time to get on right now. There's so many people who are willing to teach, you know what I mean? When I was first coming into this, you're very willing to teach. Everyone I've met from the GT Scorched Earth Open, they've been willing to teach me and help me. After every game that I crushingly got defeated at, I would say, "Hey, what should I do? Like, how can I run this better?" In the discords, I've posted lists, and people are like, "Hey, you should try running this. You should try running that." And slowly over time, like I've acquired the models I needed. I haven't had to meta chase, but it's nice to know like the things I need if I ever wanted to, or if I wanted to lean more into it and be more competitive. And so I just it's this community, it's just amazing. And yeah, if you're wanting to get on the Age of Sigmar, come on board and we'll help you. You can get in our discords, you can listen to our podcast, you can join our lives. We will help you. This is such a great time. This is such a good hobby.
Yeah, especially when you look at like all the Adepticon stuff too, it definitely seemed like really positive going forward. Like that it does look like they're supporting the game, like very very much so. And especially with Spearhead, great little introduction to the game.
Yeah, and you've got so much diversity with that now. What we say was like 46, 48 of them now.
Yeah, yeah, it's hard. There's a lot. There's a lot of them.
Ye-
But let's jump back into our games that we had going. I
Yeah,
played against Dan. Dan was an awesome dude. Super,
yeah.
super, super nice guy. He played his
Dark.
Darkoath. His Darkoath were really sick. Like I said, dude's got a sleeve, like a tattooed sleeve of like
Yeah,
all
you're
his
in for
Sigmar
it.
stuff, which is sick. So it was one of those like, oh, it's cool to share the table with you. And
He's
who
like, "You
did you
like
play?
Sigmar? That's cute. What do you
Yeah,
think of
exactly.
that?"
Exactly. That's exactly what it felt. I was like, "Do you see my Sigmar hat? Or do
Yeah.
you see my Warhammer shirt?" And he's like, "Yes, I do." Who did you play? You played Ben. Ben's the
Played
man.
Ben. Yeah, Ben at Ben Flood, bro. House of Hobbies guy, and he's a super cool dude. Made me measuring tools, from our podcast. So rolling recklessly, really cool. I wish I had him with me right now to
I
show.
know minor put up right now. Otherwise, I would show him off. I'll show
Yeah,
you.
just know,
Show him off
just
with the
know, Ben, they're
big
put
screen.
away and they're treasured items because they came out so nice. They gave them to me royal blue and gold, Stormcast vibes, just immaculate, Ben. Thank you so. Oh, here, Allie has some of hers that he made. So, yeah, rolling recklessly, with the grizzly bear, and thank you so much. I can't tell you how much it feels good to have some legit measuring tools, because I told you everyone at the last GT we were at had some fancy measuring tools. So
Yeah,
now
no, it feels exactly. You feel like I got some fancy stuff
I'm like,
too.
oh, you got $100 measuring tools? I got $20 ones. What's up? No,
Yeah.
I will raise you. I will raise you $2. They're like, oh, all right. He might be
All right.
legit.
You're right. You're right. All right. Tell me about your game. How did you guys game go? He was running Night Haunt again, right?
Yeah, so this was a new list, new me situation, and I was digging through my stuff, and I found a birthday gift from our boy Grizzly. Actually, you gave me this
Yeah.
birthday gift. It was Gardas, a hero that I'd never seen in box ever in person. I've never seen the Gardas like box in sprue, and you were able to go online and secure me one and get me it for my birthday, and I just kind of been holding on to it because he wasn't part of that list that we were preparing for Scorched Earth. But after seeing, I believe, Erica and her Meteoric Grandhammer list having Gardas and a Lord Imperator in it, I was like, I became like Kakashi. I was just like,
Yeah.
I gotta copy
Yeah.
that. I gotta copy that. Yeah. I did love that. Yeah, let me copy that. Oh, yeah. I was like, it's my Sharingan eye.
Yeah, exactly.
But I was
That's
like,
pretty sick.
yeah, I was like, I'm copying that, but instead I will have reclusions with it. And I was going to have shield annihilators. And basically, for those who don't know, the combo goes like this: you drop Gardas, a Lord Imperator, and 2 units of infantry, and usually really good infantry. I use reinforced reclusions and reinforced annihilators. Just the ones with that save on a 2 with the shield rather than the hammer ones, and I'll justify that in a second. But you drop all these things, the Lord Imperator lets Gardas and the 2 units immediately move D3 towards the target. The Annihilators, when they came down, did D3 to everything within 10 inches of them. And I happened to do that to 3 units for to Ben on the first turn. But we'll get into that. But the combo goes you drop the Annihilators, they do some mortals, then everything moves up D3. Then Gardas gives everything +1 to charge. So now you just have to make a charge of maybe 4 to 7 inches on 2d6. And I also had my prosecutors move up within that same range. And then Gardas, if he makes the charge, and I charged with him first, just to making sure I made it because I still had to reroll, and he gives it a bubble 12 inch. Everything is like +1 to attacks and 5 up ward. And yeah, and I'm going into him with all of my strongest things right away because he was 4 drops. Night Hunt had a lot of units and he had some heroes
Yep.
he needed to use. And he even brought in a regiment dragon from I think it was a Feck dragon.
Yeah, I think when we played, I think he was running the Soulblight Dragon. I think he
Oh, no, it
switched.
was the Soulblight dragon. Yeah.
Maybe that's what it was. Yeah.
It was the Soulbright Dragon, yeah. I remember it. And yeah, and in that the stagecoach there was a lot of like scary units, but the conundrum I put you in right away is I swing into with the reclusions, obviously, and this is going to be 19 attacks, threes into threes. I can best day ever them. I can. They don't really need any kind of buffs because they're crit mortals and it's 2 damage. But after that, you're like, okay, I want to kill those things. Let me swing back into him. But he's going to swing with the annihilators too, which are also Ren 1 damage too. So you're like, okay, let me thin out these annihilators, and that's usually when I will use the all-out defense. Now, Night Haunt can turn off CP abilities if you're near their little terrain and some of their heroes, and so I didn't really get to do it too much. But even just saving on a 2 up, it's very very safe, dude, and you know how I
Yeah.
roll. So yeah, it's a really good combination. Imperatant letting 3 units immediately move D3, Gardas giving you +1 to charge, and then a ward, and then +1 to attacks. It's just a really aggressive combo. I feel like I can just get in there and delete any unit, regardless of like their armor save, regardless of how many there are. It's just I can put a lot of damage out there. It was a lot of fun. It made me a little sad that like such cool models like just go down so easily. The Night Haunt, I realized they're ghosts. They're corporeal. Not doing any Ren damage. Not doing any Ren damage was interesting. You know what I mean? Like it always feels good to have 1 or 2 Ren. When you tell somebody like 2 Ren, they're like
Yeah.
it kind of stings their heart. But Night Haunt, like you don't have to worry about Ren. And I gotta say, a lot of his stuff would live with like 1 wound left. The Ghost Carriage did. Even the Dragon lived with a few wounds left. He had this big hero. I wish I knew what it was called, but it was like a ghost sitting on a throne, and he looked really cool. And I got him down to like 1 or 2 wounds, but he was able to heal a bunch of wounds because the terrain features heal as well. So the ghosts have really cool rules, and I think I just was able to alpha strike him. Being 2 drops versus his 4 drops, I was controlling who was going to go first. And like I told you, my thing is just coming from the sky and going in and doing this combo, and it worked really really well. And I think that what I have now could probably be my new tournament list. The rules really incentivize going heavy into infantry. During my game, my heroes kind of whiffed all their attacks. So I'm talking my Lord Vigilant on a Griff Stalker Gardas, Lord Imperatant. These guys, these guys, they're there for their abilities. Obviously, they're there
Yeah,
to do their to
they're
pop their
support
ability.
characters.
Yeah, they're support characters through and through because they couldn't kill like a little gaggle of like 8 ghosts, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like you guys are worthless, but their abilities were worth it, so it was good. Something happened like with my reclusions where I remember like after I dropped, they didn't really do much the rest of the game because I dropped them near some prosecutors and Lord Terminos off on like one of the side objectives, and you know once you're in with reclusions or any kind of like 5-inch move uh stormcast unit, I just feel like that's where they are the rest of the game.
Yeah, yeah, it does feel like you already dropped them. You're like, this is where they're at now. That you already be like, they're not going to be moving much further, but at least like you get that drop in. You know what I
They
mean?
may go to the objective adjacent, but like
Yeah, maybe they'll get a
but
strong
yeah,
run. You know what I mean? If you can roll a
there's
6 on that run.
and that's what makes me love having prosecutors because I'm like at least I have these guys. He was able to deep strike one of his like blade guys units into back into my back line after I'd left everything because I pushed everything up right away. He was able to deep strike into the back with some blade guys, but I flew a healthy brick of prosecutors right into them, and they had no problem popping those guys. And I was just like, oh, thank God for prosecutors because if I was relying on reclusions alone, like it wouldn't be enough. So again, prosecutors are just so good.
They
They're
are, man.
so
Prosecutors are
good.
they're great. They're like the perfect little precision like scalpel. You know what I mean? They pop
Yeah,
in, they hit you real hard, especially they take the buffs really well. You know what I mean? Plus
the,
one to attack, plus one to save, plus one to wound. All of those are just amazing buffs for the prosecutors.
yeah, it's like okay, on your first turn you can give them, best day ever. Now they're +1 to save and wound. You can, move 12 inches and then charge 3d6. And then they get +1 damage on the charge, and they already have Ren 1. And then they also have a shot at 10 inches, and the shot is D3 damage. They're just so good. And I know I've been, double fist, double twist on the prosecutors the whole edition, bro. But they got the refresh, and I have 2 reinforced units, and it's 600 points, but I don't see me taking it out. I don't see me
Yeah.
taking it out of the list.
No, I think they're super solid units. You know what I mean? Really, 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 really good. They perform well. They can do multiple different jobs, which I really like about them.
Yeah, and
For
if you
your
think of
guys'
all
game,
missile systems, it's like there's always a second missile. I need that second missile.
yeah, the backup is really, really nice. For your guys' game, what do you think was like the turning point? Like, when did it really become definitive for you? Because you guys finished pretty quick.
Yeah, and it was bloody, and and Ben told me that he's trying really hard to like find a list that's gonna give his Night Haunt a chance in this like current rule set. He told me that we were talking about books making armies better, like Sylvaneth and Daughters of Cain. I don't. He told me he didn't feel that way for Night Haunt. That they were a little bit better last edition, and now they have this new book, and they're a little more of a techie army than like a charge in army.
Yeah, I think
And,
they were a little bit better. I don't remember. I don't remember what they had like this like shtick that was like their thing, and it was a lot better until they got their book. But I do want to say I think last year they had like one of the higher like tournament like results, like as far as like your win rate. I think they had one of the highest win rates out of all the factions last year
yeah,
in the tournament scene.
yeah, and you've seen that army. It's just painted so immaculately well, and it's so cool, and the theme is so cool. Like you want it to be strong, you want it to pop off, and yeah, I just think you really get to see it. And I got in with all of my nastiest units, and yeah, they all hit hard. When he clapped back with the dragon, with the carriage, with his heroes, like they all whiffed. And you really don't want to whiff when you're going into Stormcast because it's hard enough to hit them in the first place and then
Yeah,
get through the ward. So
yeah, you
it
need
was
to make
really
your bets for
unfortunate.
sure.
It
You
was
need to
really
make your bets.
unfortunate. He killed maybe I think 8 models, and one of them was a hero Gardas. But
Oh, poor guy. That's
other than that, everything was healthy and ready to slap. And
I just
What
don't
happened
think like
was
Nighthaunt has like the damage output to really deal with a list like that. You know what I mean?
it
Like
was the
they're
deployment
you're
that's going
definitely
to
not a favorable
be.
format.
It's that it was that one deployment that's going to be in the tournament coming up where it's like a horseshoe, where your territory is kind of like a horseshoe around the objectives.
Life cycle. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it might be, but I have to look
Is
here.
that the
But
one where like the objective like moves, right?
yeah, exactly. And you pick the
Yeah.
primary. The underdog picks the primary in the second battle round. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's life cycle. And you have the neutral territory that's like a little square in the middle of the map, right?
Correct. You're right. It is called life cycle. It's going to be round 4 in the upcoming tournament.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what we were running. So like that alone kind of makes you like predictable where you're going to be. Everyone knows like, oh, I want to be here or I want to be here. And I was able to just, when you're the Stormcast and you're just coming from the sky, you're able to get where you need to right away. And I built the list as a 2-drop. A lot of my stuff is reinforced units rather than having MSU. And I know we've had that argument of, oh, should we have a reinforced or an MSU unit? I just with Stormcast, I just was like, I want to be 2 drops. I want to go first, and I want to hit you hard. And it worked. And a little, shouts out to Erica's army from a scorched earth that gave me the idea and the sauce. And I know that when Ben sees, Gardas in a Lord Imperatant in the future, he'll be like, "Oh, I know what's happening here." So,
Yeah. He's like, oh, no lube, eh?
it's hard to deploy back and keep yourself safe when I can just appear 9 inches in front of you.
That's
And
exactly what it is. It's like with the. I think the big thing I've always done is like the nice thing with Sylvaneth is like if I castle, it's like that has like been like my defense against you for dropping 9 inches away. It's like, do you want to run
yeah,
into this? Like, be my guest, you can run into this. But I know if I leave anything out there, like hanging out, chilling by himself, he's gonna get popped.
yeah, for sure. I could tell. You can lose a lot of the game in the deployment phase. Like I've learned that. You've learned that. Hey,
That's how
like
this game is, bro. That's
that is how
exactly
this
how this
game is,
game is.
and you get taught a brutal lesson. You're like, I should have deployed this way, and you're like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's tough, but yeah, it
In
made
our
me
game,
proud.
man, it was one of those like I got into your backline and it was like, oh,
Yeah,
it
so
was
quickly.
rough from there. It was
But
rough from there.
backline with the Croxagors, Raptidons, and the Carnosaur. And I'm like, oh man, so many hits coming, and
Yeah.
my parsley 5-up save and no wards.
Yeah. Yeah.
The game gets brutal, bro. In typical like Warhammer lore accuracy, things get brutal and bloody fast. And what happened was, I go in first turn, I slap everything up, and then he gets his turn. He tries to slap back. He does some shenanigans, scores well, gets tactics, gets objectives, scores well, needs the double turn.
Yeah.
Absolutely needs the double turn. He rolls 1, I roll 6.
Oh,
Can't even use his reroll to
yeah.
beat
Fate
my
didn't want
roll.
him to get it.
And Fate, he's like, oh yeah, Fate just really freaking hated me and wanted this to be. I was like, okay, I'll continue. I'll roll my stuff. Pop the dragon, pop the carriage, pop your hero. Pop a full unit of blade guys. It's like, okay,
Got,
do you want to play
got
the rest of
videos
the
to
game?
find. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, do you want to play your turn out with your few unit of blade guys and some chain rats? And he's like, no, that's it. He's like, I'm polishing a turd with this army, and I'm like, oh no, I don't want to look at it that way, but
No, I don't want to look at it that way because I think they're a good army and I think Ben's a great player. I just don't
yeah,
think Stormcast is a favorable matchup. I think the
yeah,
way this game is, they obviously we want the game balanced, and we also want the game thematic. So I totally understand that. But at the
yeah.
same time, like if with so many factions and so many choices, you're gonna have to give up a little bit. That hey, some people their armies are just gonna be built better for this than you are. You know what I mean?
We
Like
should do an episode where we cover like units and like what like class tier they are, because I felt like everything in my army was like clearly like this is what all Stormcast players bring, but I don't
yeah.
really know what that is for Nighthaunt. I don't know like what's the thing that Nighthaunt players are definitely going to be using.
Yeah, I
So
agree. We'd have to do a little bit of research or maybe bring on a guest or somebody to come talk that over with us.
Yeah, I want to talk to Ben about Night Hunt. He told me he's been like playing the army for weeks and like just is just getting dumpstered every week, and I was just like, that's got to feel horrible, dude. But I understand. I felt that way about my Skaven. I'm like, these guys are just getting blown off the map, but they're an army with a very high win percentage, and a lot of really talented people play this army. So it's me and my misplay, and that's what makes me mad. And I
Everybody
just
is everybody else wrong? Or it's like,
right.
what? Yeah. No, everybody else is wrong.
I was like, how did it a 49% win rate when I've won 16% of the time?
But it sounds like you guys had a really good game. I don't even know
Yeah,
what the score was, but I do know you tabled them relatively quickly.
I tabled
You're
him pretty
over there
quickly.
bullshitting with me and Dan. Pretty
I got to
quick.
I got to fellowship with the rest of everybody's games and get to observe. But yeah, I was like, this game, I love it. And Ben absolutely destroyed me in at the Scorched Earth Open when he was his Soulblight Gravelords. So I felt no remorse just absolutely destroying him. I
He
was
said, "I'm
like,
gonna
this.
return that favor."
I was like, this game is supposed to punch you right in the nuts. It's supposed to uppercut you right in the jaw. It's supposed to put you in the chokehold, with the uppercut,
That's how this game
and the
is, bro.
noogie at the end, because
Exactly.
it's
Otherwise, you didn't even really get to play the game.
yeah. So it felt good to just completely crush my opponent. He said at one point, like, this is the strongest Stormcast list I've ever played. And I was like, yes.
Yeah, I was not excited
Yes.
to. I was not excited to play that list. That's when I got you like the Gardas, and I was like, so
You're like,
cool. Like I like the model, and it's like I love his rules. I love what he wants to do. I was like, I don't know if I want to give you this weapon. You know what I mean?
you're
Like,
like, you're
hey,
like,
I
I'm
have this
giving him this to use against him.
AK-47. Do you want this RPG, Jesse? Just
Yeah.
please don't use it on me.
I was like, you're the first person I'm trying this thing on.
Yeah. You're like,
But
hey,
yeah,
go stand by that target over there.
Gardas whiffed his attacks, but he earned it with those +1 to attacks with that 5-up ward. 12 inches is a pretty lengthy holy within.
Dude, that's a
You know,
huge bot. That's a huge bubble.
yeah,
Huge
it's
bubble.
a huge bubble, and it just made everything so survivable. And I had the Lord Vigilant too, so I was able to give one of the prosecutor units a double fight, which gave you that horrible choice because you're in combat with annihilators that save on twos, reclusions with the 5-up wards that save on threes, prosecutors who save on threes, and now are about to double fight. Who do you clap into?
Yeah, it's a chop. It sucks. All
You
of
may
them are the
activate
bad
one
choice.
unit to
Yeah,
try to stop like what's about to happen.
there literally is no right choice. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, there's nothing you can do to make it right.
And
So it sounds like you guys, like I said, it sounds like you guys had a real fun game.
and
Do
it's
you
a
have any
trick
closing thoughts?
because you want to give it to you want a thing with no ward, right? But Gardish just gave everything a 5-up ward, so you're just like,
Exactly.
oh, it's
So
horrible.
everything's got the word and
Yeah,
+1 to attack. So it's like he's such a great buff piece. He might be one of like the best buff pieces in the game.
yeah, he's so good, man. He's my buddy.
So at the end of the day, Stormcast ended up taking it over Night Haunt. Like I don't think you said you
Stormcast,
guys even got a score. It was very definitive at a certain at what turn
yeah,
two?
decisive end of turn 2. I had it. Outscoring, pretty much gonna on the way to table the army in the 3rd round. Why put the man through any more misery? He's already had to endure this on weeks on end. Ben, you're gonna find the answer, and you are going to destroy somebody with Night Haunt, and it's gonna shock them,
Yeah.
as it
Hey,
should.
he beat me with him. He beat me with him.
That's true, and you and
So,
you, and I know you guys had a long slog of a game, but he got
yeah.
to go home the victor. So he showed that it is possible, and
Yeah.
I feel like when you get a win with an army that isn't really like known for winning very easily, it's like 2 wins.
Yeah. It is. It's like a double win. Double
Yeah, beat the
rainbow.
game, but also on the
Yeah.
hardest difficulty. They're like,
Exactly.
okay.
Speaking of long, hard slog games, is me and Dan played. Super fun game. Like again, super cool dude. He's pretty veteran. Dan. He's been playing. I think he said since 1st edition. No points, dude. No points for this game sounds insane.
That's
Um,
crazy.
So he's been playing. He knows his stuff, and his army was painted really well. You could see even like his he ran Darkoath, so it's like
Yeah,
just a massive horde of stuff, and it's like even his
and
horde
everything was
models
painted.
looked really well. It's like, dang man, even like your basic your little crappy guys look good.
Yeah, your little
Was,
Darkoath Marauders, every little individual one was painted and based meticulously, and I was just
there
like,
was this like he had a standard bearer, you know what I mean, and it was painted
mm.
so well. I kept assuming it was a hero. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm gonna put my attacks into that guy in the back. He's like, so the Marauders, and I was like, no, the hero in the back. He's like, that's the bearer, the standard bearer. Is like, dude,
Yeah,
he's such a nice looking model. You made him look so good. He feels like a centerpiece. Like he
he's
looked
so
good.
dripped out, you know. I feel like when you have a horde army with like 20, 40 models, having a really dripped out banner carrier is really essential because you got to be like, is my banner guy still alive? Oh yeah, he's dripped out right there in the middle.
Yeah, he looked really good, and he did great. He brought the Dark Oath. He also was running a bunch of he had Bellacore, which I mean Bellacore in the game. You played him, you know he's a
Oh,
problem in himself.
he's
Uh,
nasty.
yeah, I was running the new Sylvaneth. Again, I don't know if I can say this enough. I think Sylvaneth is in a beautiful place. Like we're doing great. We're gonna have a solid next like rest of this year and a half for the edition end. I think the book is awesome.
Yeah,
I was real worried when we got it and I seen everything change, but it was a blast to play. I really like the overgrown corruption. I know I missed a couple things, you know what I mean, as you do with new armies, new stuff like that, you know. But it was a lot of fun.
yeah.
Um, uh, the
Your
game,
new rules, like I know, like you had like the little cheat sheet on your phone, and
yeah,
I know that couldn't have been easy, bro, because you know we've become snobs for that app, and I just you
yeah,
know
that was a
I
big thing.
I take my
Was
hat
you're
off
right.
for you even attempting.
Yeah, I felt right because I had like I just screenshot all the important stuff that I needed. You know what I mean? Hey, here's the
I
work rule
saw
I
that.
need. Here's all this stuff, and it worked all right. But man, the having the app is nice, and we talked about it before in Lassand, but like I love the app. I cannot wait for the book to come out. I'm gonna get the book day one, put that code in there because frustrating, but we'll get past that. The army, the game was a blast. Like I said, Dan's super smart guy. His models were painted really nice. His Bellacore was I think I played well against it. It was nice because I kind of knew. Like I did my research on Bellacore. We played Zach who plays Bellacore. Um, so
Absolutely,
so I kind of had like an idea of like what to do. I know that you want to try to like pile him into combat, you know, so he can't give up that
absolutely.
strike first little buff, which is
Yeah,
kind of cool. I love that Sylvaneth on your opponent's turn can give strike first in the combat phase
that's
to
insane.
you know that feels
That's
so
insane.
feels so good. It's like all right, combat phase abilities. I'm gonna do this. It's like oh yeah, I'm gonna give my guy strike first. And you're like oh, and it's, especially if you don't expect it to come, you know.
That's
The
incredibly
main,
powerful.
yeah, the main issue
One
I always
CP.
have to keep in mind, yeah, I just have to save that one CP, no
Yeah,
matter what. It's one of those like I almost want them to go first. Actually, so
yeah.
I think he was 4 drops and I was 3 drops. Um,
Okay.
I elected him to go first.
Yeah,
Um,
I feel like these
and
horde armies have to be 3 or 4 drops.
yeah, I think he was 4 drops, so I let him go first. Move his guys forward, and I feel like I played a really good game. Unfortunately, you came over and you saw I roll like shit. It's I don't know what else to
It
say.
amazes me, bro. Like you'll get the fours, and I'm like, good job. Now get the twos, and you'll just spike ones, and I'll be like,
Yeah, it's like, yeah. Look at
well, I
that,
don't know what
four
to say
ones
about this
right
person.
there. Out of 5 attacks, 4 ones.
I
Nice.
watched you roll 6 ones in a row, and I was just like, I don't even know what to say to this man anymore. Like, just hit something.
Yeah, it's just it was rough, but the very beginning of the game was fun. Turn one, at the end of turn one, you know, he just pushed his stuff forward. I pushed my stuff forward. Um, we ended it at 8-8. Turn two, he went again, and then I went. It was nice. I landed. So Sylvaneth now has a spell where you can give run and charge on a 5 up. I
Uh-huh.
gave. So I ran. we can start with my list. I had Drycha, just regular
Gotcha.
new book Drycha,
Love
who
it.
awesome model, man. They took everything good from the Soggy War Troll and added it to that. They didn't give her like the cool spell ability, but they gave her really good attacks, which I like her attacks a
Okay.
lot.
Okay, that's
They
cool.
they did give her this super cool charge thing that I didn't get a chance to do before fucking Dan killed Drycha. um, but she can, if you're in the creeping corruption, she can roll a charge, and if as long as she can measure her charge basically from a terrain piece that's corrupted, which
Okay.
is dude sick. So I could just charge. Say I roll a 9-inch charge, I can measure that charge from any of the terrain pieces that I corrupt. You know what I mean?
That's really cool.
With the token. So it's like you can be anywhere on the board in combat, and you can't there's no redeploying away. There's no getting away from it. You know what I mean? So that was really cool. I had I had Dirthu, I had Kurnoths with scythes, I had the Gossamet archers, and I had the
Yep.
Arch Revenant. The Arch Revenant, super good glow up. He has 20 more points, but he's a way better unit than he ever was before. I liked before when he would buff the Kurnoth, and that's why I would bring him. Is because I just have 120 points here to throw, or 110 points or whatever he was, with
Right.
just a fill, and he buffs the Kurnoth nice. Now he does this cool thing with the Gossamet archers where you can, if he charges, as long as he succeeds on his charge, if there's a unit of Gossamet archers within 18 of him, they can shoot again in the charge phase.
That's really cool.
Super sick. I got to do it,
That's
I
really cool.
got to do it twice. And then in the combat phase, after his attacks resolve, you can move him 2d6 in the combat phase. So like I can charge in there, swing on you, and then charge out before you even get a chance to hit him.
That's
So
cool.
yes, that was super, super sick. And then
Yeah, I
after
think I
that,
saw that come into play when I was watching your game.
yes, it was a lot of fun. Darthu now he's still smacks super hard. Still everything's the same. The only thing is that's nice now is he can give out strike last, which is fucking sick.
Wow.
On a 3-up, yeah, you have strike
3 up, he
last.
gives something strike last. It's his rampage.
Yeah,
That's really
but
cool.
very very sick. And then also if you're in combat with a hero, he gets +2 to charge, which is
That's really cool.
you know what I mean. +2 to charge is a 12-inch charge is now 10. You know
I
what I
like
mean?
how your army is moving into this like controlling the flow of battle like aspect.
I agree. I love it. It's not so. I don't know. I felt it was much more movement based before.
Yeah.
Now it's definitely it's fighty. It loves to fight, which is sick. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
kind of how I wanted it to play. The spells are great. The prayer lore is great. I didn't run any priest this game, but I'm excited to use those. The prayers are sick because they give +1 to wound, or the spell lore. I can either get +1 to wound. I can let a unit run and charge, or I can stop you from running and you get -1 to your charge.
Wow.
So, bro, amazing spell lore. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm super excited to get some more work in with these guys. But so turn 1, we played. He pushed his guy forward. I pushed my guys forward. Turn 2, I went in, or he pushed his guys forward again. I moved some kind of stuff around.
Yeah, Darkoath Marauders, Wilder Fiends, 2 of them.
He had 2 Wilder Fiends. Yeah.
The guys on the horses, I don't know their names.
Yeah, he didn't even really get to use the guys on the horses too much until the very end, and they came in like pretty clutch at the end.
Yeah.
But so we ended up getting into like a big combat at basically the bottom of turn 2. I went the bottom of turn 2. Like I said, though, we were just moving our stuff forward really. I got in with Darthu. I got in a 14-inch charge because I gave him that +2, and
Wow.
he got the run and charge, which was sick.
So you nailed 10 on the dice and you got the 14? Or 12 on the dice and you
I
got
ran
20?
12, he only got 14. I ran him around and got him on
That's
this objective.
crazy.
He went in. I ran the Tree Lords in. I had a Tree Lord and a Tree Lord Ancient in.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
And they kind of surrounded in his big block of stuff, which was, I feel like I made all the right moves, but the rolls just weren't going my way. I ended up piling his Bellacore into combat. Same his Wilder Fiend, bro. His Wilder Fiend would not die. I like would.
Whoa.
I finally got like I kept whiffing, right? Kept whiffing. I finally got some hits, and I was like, all right, two up rend, two rend. So he's like six up saves, two of them rolls two sixes, and I was like,
Oh my god.
we both just stopped and like we looked down at the six. I looked down at the six, and we both looked at each other in the eyes, and he's like, yeah, sometimes it happens. It's a dice game, and I was like, yeah, like I did it like it was just one
He
of
was
those things.
blessed by the ever chosen, bro. God
Yeah, he
dang.
sure was, bro. It was crazy. But I felt like I played really good. I did eventually get his Be'lakor off the table. He
Yeah.
did get he killed my Darthu. He killed my Tree Lord Ancient.
Did Be'lakor do the thing where it turns off like your ability to do something on a roll?
He did, but he did it to my Kurnoth with scythes, and thankfully, like I had so much stuff engaged that the Kurnoth, like it was okay. It didn't affect me too much. You know what I mean?
Okay. But that
Uh,
did come into play in the game.
he did, yeah. He turned him off. Bottom of turn two, or he turned him off in the bottom of turn or the top of turn one, maybe, or bottom of turn one.
What
Yeah,
turn did you lift him finally off the table?
Be'lakor I think came off turn three. I
That's
took off
pretty good
Be'lakor.
work.
I killed a bunch of his stuff. He did kill a couple of my things, and I forgot I did the battle formation where if any of my Sylvaneth die or the trees die, I get +1 to attacks on a Sylvaneth unit. I did forget
That's cool.
that, which dude,
That's
super,
major.
super cool. Yeah,
Oh,
so I'll be sure to remember that next time. But the game
yes.
was a lot of fun. It was really, really tight until like I want to say turn three. He
Yeah.
did kind of pull ahead. He managed to steal one of my objectives and got he was running Wrathful and Intercept. So
Okay.
once he got he got two of his intercept things. He killed my Tree Lord, or he killed Drycha, and he killed Darthu, who were both
Holding treasures.
yeah. And then Scythe, the Carnosaur Scythe had the last treasure. And they did a bunch of work. I love those guys.
Yeah,
I
me
might,
too.
I don't know if I think on my next list, I might maybe take out the Tree Lords and the Tree Lord Ancient and put in another unit of Kurnoth. Because
Okay.
man, they're so good. Maybe a unit of swords and a unit of scythes, so I can do charging and anti-charging.
For
Have a lot.
sure.
I love the run and charge. Man, it's just sick. So I need to get something where I can help give the scythes or the swords run in charge and just deal the impact mortals.
Absolutely.
But so once he did get those guys off, like I said, my win for me was I got Be'lakor off the table. Other than that, he
Yeah.
basically ran those horses in. I killed most of the horses, but he was able to like run around and just get around the table and take some
Mm.
objectives. By the time we got to the top of turn four, it was like 11 o'clock.
You're like,
So
let's call it.
we both just started picking it up. The game was really close. We just called it then. I think he was beating me at that point by like 8 points. So we're just like, we'll just
Yeah.
call it from here. Like, I think I could have had like chances to like turn five to maybe take the win. You know what I mean? But like things would have had to go very ideal. And obviously, from the rolls, the way they were going, it was not going ideal. I will say,
No,
I wish
in
I would go
typical
to
like fashion, you rolled like buns and you are really it's like a handicap for you, bro, at this point.
bro, it was crazy. It was really really wild. But overall, man, I love the game. I love the list. I will probably do like light tweaking. I want to get in like maybe 2 or 3 games next week so we can get some more practice in to make sure we're
Yeah, sure.
solid. Because I know we
Yeah.
have to we got to submit our list by the 11th, and today is already the 4th. So that means next week's a lot of grinding. That means I at least got to get my Arch Revenants painted and then my Dryads based, which me and you can bust out some basing pretty quick. The Arch
We could do
Revenant
it
is a small hero,
for
so
sure.
that would be nice. My Kurnoth for the most part are painted. Maybe like do some light touch ups on some of them, and then finish the basing on one of them. That's really it. Other than that, I think my
I
whole
once
list will
again
be.
have to paint prosecutors, reclusions. You know what I mean? Now Gardas and Imperatant. So just heroes and my favorite infantry. Gold trim, blue white capes, blue accents, baby.
It's like we're repeating exactly what we did last time. It's like,
Yeah, bro.
this feels like
I've
two
slipped
months
into the
ago.
seventh layer of hell. But I can't wait to play your new Sylvaneth. I know I said I was getting sick of playing Sylvaneth, but that was old Sylvaneth.
Yeah, I can't wait for you to get tired of playing this Sylvaneth.
I can't wait for you to play my Vanguard long strikes.
Yeah, I'm more worried about the Guardist, the Reclusion, and the Prosecutors list.
Yeah,
Just saying,
yeah.
like, there's gonna be when we play that game, there's gonna be a lot of Kurnoth Sice in this list.
So you know, and I want to talk about this. Like, I know we're talking about your list right now, but I want to go back to my list real quick. It's like I didn't have any prayers. I didn't have any spells. I didn't miss them. I
Yeah,
didn't. I
I
feel
thought it was
like
nice.
they give you these cool spell lores and these cool prayer lores and these awesome manifestations, and they kind of gear you towards doing it. They give you these cool big dragon heroes or mounted heroes that will give you access to these things. I don't think I need
No,
them.
I think it's so. I like the spell lores and the prayer lores and all that stuff. Which I'm really happy is that Sylvaneth everything dropped to 6s and 5s, which
Oh,
is
that's sick.
dude sick. That's nothing. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, um, but you're basically paying points for potential buffs. You know what I mean?
Right.
Stuff like people can cancel it, people can, they can unbind it. You could just fail it. So it's
That
like
Arch Revenant, isn't it a
hoping.
priest or is that a caster?
No, that the Warsong Revenant is now who was a caster is now a priest,
Oh,
but my
that's what
Arch
it was.
Revenant is not. The Arch Revenant is the guy that does like the charging shenanigans.
That ability, yeah, with the archers, yeah. I saw
Yes,
you do that, and that was amazing. Do the archers still move after they shoot?
yes. So it's like you're
Ugh,
moving, shooting, shooting again,
shooting.
and then
Oh
moving
yeah,
again 3 times in like one turn. It feels sick. It
yeah. That's
feels
a
sick.
lot. Okay, yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not excited about fighting that.
It's just a fun little combo. You know what I mean?
Love
Uh,
it, dude. That's a really good combo. And it's a cheap combo to get off because I know those guys aren't costing that much, and the
all
Arch
for both
Revenant's
of those
cheap.
units together is 250.
Such a,
So
a
it's just
250 combo that involves shooting twice. Sign me
yep,
up.
yeah, with crit mortals. Like I love it.
Kurt Mortos, yeah.
Or I think it's crit auto wound, but it's still nice. You know what I mean?
It's still crit something, you know.
Yeah,
When you're rolling so many dice, you want crit something.
yeah. But it's been nice. Like this week, it was nice to kind of get back to it. I've been doing a lot of stuff in like my house, like moving everything around, trying to get everything all set up for the next coming week, so we can get games in here, start getting in some of this. I'm starting to start filming some new content inside. You know what I'm saying? That'll be really exciting.
Absolutely. We're in Phoenix where it's hot. You know, the degrees are going to hit the triple digits here soon. You want to be. This is the best time to be a Warhammer hobbyist. You know what I mean. You want to be indoors where it's cool. You want to be at a local game store where it's nice and cool. Maybe order some beers. Maybe get some food. And just like
Yeah,
and spend the next 6 months indoors because it's going to be egregious outside.
yeah, it's gonna be real pleasant. So I'm happy that we got an indoor hobby to kind of get us through the summer, which is 90% of the year.
These GTs coming up, the RTs, bro, little uh, local events, bro. I'm seeing Spearhead leagues. I'm seeing like little 2K leagues. I'm seeing Path to Glories. There's so many ways to play this game right now, bro, and I'm ready for it all. I'm signing up for all of it.
Super exciting. Speaking of new formats, I think that's going to be a great transition to our next thing, and our main segment of the night is Teams Tournament. I'm super excited. Let's talk about what we got coming up, because that's going to be something new for us. And honestly, I'm super excited for it. We're heading to the House of Hobbies Teams Tournament and Gamers Guild, April 18th and 19th. And it's going to be our first time competing in the team format. So the way this works is it's a 3-man teams event, and there's actually going to be like an interesting layer to it before the game even starts. Each team is going to pick defenders. The opposing team is going to assign an attacker into that defender, and then the last two players are going to end up playing each other. Is
Hmm.
how the format is going to like do the pairings. So
Interesting.
yeah, it's not going to be just about playing like your games well. Like there's going to be strategies in the matches themselves. Do you like the format, or like does that stress you out like a bit?
Yeah, I mean it's a little stressful, like knowing that just like kind of which list and which role to assign is going to be like beneficial for matchup sake. But yeah, I think just having the twist makes it feel different and unique. You know what I mean? We're not just doing some match play with a best coast pairing. We're doing a real unique tournament rule set with parameters that we have to fulfill. So yeah, it's going to be exciting, bro. A little nerve wracking, but it just makes it feel special. It makes it feel unique.
Yeah, I agree. I think it seems like a lot of fun. I'm excited. I love that little mini game. So I think we get to pick like a captain, right? So we'll pick
Right.
the captain. And the captain is gonna give out the
I'm the
defender.
captain now.
Yeah, look at me. um, um, let's do this. I'm gonna pull this up so we can have everybody see and share the stage.
Oh,
Oh.
here the packet. Yes.
So this is going to be our battle pack to go through. This will tell us like the games and all that kind of stuff going on.
The house rules triple threat team GT.
Yes. So it's going to be another 2-day event, 5 rounds.
Yep. 5 rounds.
Each
Gotta be
team's
strong.
play has 2,000 points. So like always, I do like that they do have like some like limitations on some of this stuff. So battle tactic cards can be shared across the team, but not all players can run the same battle tactics.
Right.
So that's one thing that we got to get with Brandon before. We got to hopefully get that guy get in a chat at least with this guy in the next week or so, so we can kind of talk things out with him and like plan all of this stuff out because we can't be sharing battle tactics apparently. I believe that we all have to run different armies as well. You cannot share. Oh, you cannot share war scrolls across team members. None of their team. Oh. So you got to choose different factions, and you can't like have like regiments or renown or nothing.
Right? Yeah, they got to be unique.
Yes. It looks like we cannot duplicate manifestations.
Wow.
So we can't be.
Can't be do triple crown spine.
Exactly. Everybody just running crown spine. Everything's gonna be West Coast pairings, which will be exciting. It's got to be centered by BCP to BCP 4/12/26. So. Yeah, we got about 7 days to put those in.
Yeah, and I feel like the lists we just ran on Friday are similar to what we're going to be submitting, so it's good we're getting these reps in.
Yeah, that's why I really want to try to get some work in with these new Sylvaneth because I'm excited. Like they say here, Sylvaneth and Daughters are going to be good. Everything's got to be painted. The stressful but fun part to do. We also got to run some hobby nights then. That means we're going to have to get some chilling in this week. Me and you just get some painting.
We're going to have to. Yeah, we got to get some work done.
We're going to have this big table back in the house, hopefully sometime this week. So, you know what I mean? Like, I remember when we did the Skaven type box, we grinded out on this table, but I love this table.
Yes. Looks like I'll be putting my girlfriend back to work.
Yeah, cracking that whip.
They're back in there.
Yeah. Get that glue. I'm tired of building models, Grandpa. That's too damn bad.
It's too bad. Now, or I'll burn your feet.
Yeah. Looks like they're gonna have some cool pricing, which is pretty awesome. Best team overall. I always whenever we're looking at this, I'm thinking of the what is it you hit me with? Yeah, I want that trophy.
I want that trophy. Just one of them.
Yeah, just one of them. Best team theme. So we got to come in themed. Oh, we got to get with Brandon on that.
Yeah,
we're all gonna be Pikachu's. Just kidding.
Wow.
Best painted, even from a single person. Very nice. I think I'm actually going to try to enter that this time because I didn't enter it into Scorched Earth, but I didn't feel like I would have done too bad. I think if Ben entered and he plays his Nighthaunt,
we're torched. There's so many good painters in our community, bro.
Yeah, they are so many good painters. Last place individual, I think I could get that trophy.
Yeah. I think if anything, the odds are really on me for that one.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, we could place. I feel comfortable placing a bet on there. You know what I mean? If FanDuel stats are on there, you know what I mean?
Right. It's as safe as it gets.
Yeah. This guy's got a plus 600.
It's safer than investing in Generium or Geno coin, bro.
Yeah. Are you sure about that?
Oh, man.
Here's going to be the breakdowns for like the pricing. So best team is going to be most points, which I think is really cool because I think the scoring is going to be like you can lose your games, but your team could still win as long as you guys score more points.
Score together. Well, yeah. That's
Yeah.
insane. That's really cool.
Most fun and cohesive theme. I wonder what that means. Like for us, we're gonna have to talk that out.
Yeah.
Painting rubric. So best painted. That's pretty much the same as it always is. Player's code. It's kind of most of this is basically just don't be a fucking dick. Oh, look, it's straight
Yeah.
up on here. Don't
It
be a
says
dick.
don't be a
I
dick.
love
Yeah.
that. Yeah, that's basically seems like they could summarize all of these rules. It's unfortunate that they have to put that on there.
It is, but that way, in case somebody says nobody said I couldn't be a dick, we'll be like,
Yeah, I don't know, man.
did
They
you read
very
the player pack,
explicitly
bro?
listed that. Yeah. This is why you didn't know what the fucking games were, huh?
Yeah.
Here's
Look,
gonna be
pairing
the
system.
pairings. So this is like that little mini game I was talking about, where
Yeah.
you're gonna pick the defender. So we're gonna pick a captain. Then the captain is going to, or designated
protector.
coach. Yeah, he's going to be our protector. We're gonna put a card face down. I think that's gonna be your defender or protector. Everyone's gonna reveal them, and then both captains select one of the remaining cards face down on the table. These cards will represent the invaders. Both of each team's invaders are set. They are revealed. The revealed invaders will defend the match with each other. And the remaining card factions in each captain's hand are matched with each other as the final pair. Which
Look
is
at
nice.
that, man.
I think we'll get to see who the other players' list are before we start.
Yeah. That's cool. This is some clear randomization, though, so I'm glad they're doing this.
Yeah. I like how we can do the play. If you get tabled, you can still win. You know what I mean? Especially someone like Nurgle. And I think Zach got his tie off that in the last tournament. Was all his shit was dead, but he's like, you just don't have enough stuff to take.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, you don't have enough to outscore me, so therefore, I love it. Terrain, yeah,
pretty typical terrain, typical stuff. Here's going to be the battle plans. Here we got cyclonic shifts. I'm not a big fan of like the big whiteboards. Granted, I haven't done it with like my new list, and my new list it feels like a lot more models on the table, a lot more.
Yeah, this is where I could struggle to a little bit, but 6 objectives ones. Let's try to practice this one this week.
Yeah, I think we need to get some practice on this one. I'm not fully sure on which battle tactics like my army is really good at yet.
Yeah.
So it'll be kind of fun to try some things out. I think what scouting forces might work really well in here because there's so much neutral territory. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Turn 1, you could get that, especially if you go first. Heck, even if you
for sure.
After we got that, we have Surge of Slaughter.
I
personally like Surge of Slaughter.
Yes, we've run this one a lot.
Yep, it's one of my favorite ones. I like when they have the 4 and then the one in the middle. It just like makes you want to fight. You know what I mean? And I think
it forces the conflict. It forces like your best units to meet in the middle for a showdown. I love it.
Yeah, I really like that one. After that, we got Creepy Corruption. Looks like another 6 objective board again. I think this is the one.
This is the other one we need to practice.
Yeah, where you can turn you can either turn these ones off or turn these ones off, right? I think it's that one. Yeah. So and then these ones
need to practice that one for sure.
It's either that one or it's the one where you have to control this one, and this one. You know what I mean? Like one of each.
Oh right, yeah. It could be that.
It could be that
man.
One. That one's also kind of pain.
Here's life cycle. This is that horseshoe when we were talking about horseshoe deployment.
Yes, this guy right here. I think this is another one scouting forces will be good on because you have all this neutral territory right here. So I think I might be running scouting forces, especially if I just spam triads and stuff. It won't I like it also, like the main objective is the one where it rotates, right? Like that.
Yeah, and I feel like this baseball diamond where it's forcing you to control objectives on the opposite side of each other, it forces you to kind of split your army in half and divide the eastern and western hemisphere. You guys try to control this side, I try to control this side. Yeah. So yes, good. We've practiced that one a lot. I don't think we're going to struggle on that battle plan.
Yeah, I think we'll be good. So we don't got to worry too much about that one.
Same on this one, battle plan Equinox.
Same thing. Yep, agreed.
If I had to teach a beginner this game, this is the battle plan I give them.
Yeah, this one. There's this one, and then it's the one where you. Is this the one where you heal?
This is the one where you heal, and Surge of Slaughter is the one where you can add rend.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I like this one.
So
Yeah, this is the one
yeah,
you
this one
brought.
and Surge of
So I'm
Slaughter,
excited.
they're super simple. There's a reason we don't need to do those ones. But the Creeping Corruption and the what was the other one called? It was the very first one.
Oh, it's the cyclonic shifts. This
That
is the
one we really need to practice, bro.
I think me and you, because me and you don't really like. We like to play elite, so we don't like the 6 objectives, you know.
Yeah,
So
we need
we
to
didn't
practice.
play.
Yeah.
We didn't play it as much this season.
This
Not as
week we're
much as we
playing
should
six
have.
objective ones. Yeah, that's
Yeah. So
tough.
let's try to get some games in this week.
Absolutely.
I'm real
You're gonna
happy.
have the table in the house now. Zach's got the table now.
Oh,
We
Zach
got
did the table. I forgot about that.
we
Yeah,
got
let's talk
Gamer
about
Guild. We got
that.
Hobby Forge. Let's do it, bro. I know
Well,
we took
seems like
a few weeks where we laid off on the games a little bit, but we need to practice. This is coming up quick. Got to paint. Got to practice. Got to panic. Just kidding.
yeah. Yeah, no, thanks. I really appreciate you jumping on for me. I know we got holidays coming up. I know it's with your sister's birthday today, right? So I'm
It's
happy
his
that you.
birthday. Tomorrow's Easter.
Yeah, exactly. So I know it's real busy this week. I'm excited we can get some games in next week. Um,
Yeah.
we got to get back to work so we can get ready for that tournament, man. Like you
Yeah.
say, I want that trophy.
I want that trophy.
Yeah.
I want us to come back and people be like, hey, there's those reckless guys again, and then we just smash, bro. We do good at least. Can we get two
Yes.
big? Can we get two wins this time?
Yes, exactly. Let us get one more win. That's all I want. Is one
One
more win.
more. Can I get a favorable matchup right away instead of just a horde that's gonna stomp me out?
Instead of Elias running New Bomb and smashing into you with all the Darkoath or
Yeah,
Jed. Thankfully,
I-
Jed unfortunately couldn't make it. I'm sorry to hear that, Jed. Um,
yeah. Much to the ire, I'm sure of all of our opponents.
yeah,
But yeah, one less sweaty player in a sweaty tournament. I'm sure it'll make a big difference.
yeah. I'm sure all of us will miss you, Jed. I think you could have really helped me get that last place. You know, I think it made that a little easier for me. I think
Made
my
it.
my FanDuel's percentage would have been a little higher, if Jed was playing.
That's for sure. I mean, this tournament looks pretty full, bro, and there's a lot of good teams going to be there. Uh, we still need to meet with our teammate. It's so much is going to happen in the next 2 weeks. It's exciting, bro. It's going to fly by, but we're going to
Yeah,
put in the work. We're going to get everything done. I've got 100% faith in us.
yeah. No, I'm super excited. I'm hoping maybe next episode, we can get him in the Discord. Let's get a Discord group chat going, and then hopefully we can get Brandon on next week. That would be awesome, and we could talk his experiences. Break down some of his strategies, and maybe even look at some of the teams that we'll be facing on this next episode.
For sure.
I think that one's going to be really fun. But yeah, team tournament is going to be fun for us. New format, new challenges, and honestly, I think it's going to be a blast. But with that said, I think we're good to go ahead and close this one out. That's going to wrap up today's episode of Rolling Recklessly. Jesse, as always, man, thank you for coming on, bro. I really appreciate it. Especially getting in the reps in right before the tournament, get us training. Just these games always hit different. So I always have a blast, man. Thank you for always being by my side. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. I love it. I wouldn't want to go through this journey with anybody else. You got me into this wacky world of Sigmar, and I'm ready to ride till the wheels crack on the bandwagon. And this thing is just gonna keep rolling, bro. I don't think this slowing down. I feel momentum. Momentum is
Yes,
pushing.
it's real crazy because the world right now is just it's in a fucking insane spot, and I'm real happy that we have this good positive momentum for us. Like this feels good, bro. This all feels great. This feels like we're moving forward. This feels positive, and like I said, with everything going on, man, it's really nice to have like something positive like pushing us forward.
Yeah.
Um,
There's
before
so
that,
much in the world that's like negative. Like this podcast, this hobby, it's just so positive, bro. Like I love seeing the smiling faces of my opponents. I love seeing like everybody so stoked and telling me about their army, telling me about their rules, telling me about their paint jobs. It really does help renew me in the mundane, like day-to-day work and taking care of your family and the things that stress you out. It's nice to have this thing that unwinds and is stress relieving, and it's a really unique feeling. And those of you that were participating in this hobby, like it feels good. There's so much accomplishment that comes with doing this.
Yeah, 100% agreed. With that, man, do you got any shout outs?
I want to shout out Hobby Forge over there in Sun City. It's a little bit of a drive, but it's a
Let's
very
go, Hobby
charming shop.
Forge. I'm excited to try you guys out.
Yeah, it's a very charming. I want to shout out to Ben. Love the bangers. Love the measuring tools. They're just perfect. They're really charming. Shout out to House of Hobbies and all those guys. As always, shout out to our teammate Zach. And yeah, man. Any more you got?
As always, shouts out Zach. I want to shout out Dan. He had a great game, bro. Super good, super chill, dude. I'm excited.
Absolutely.
I was kind of sad he wasn't gonna play on the teams tournament, but then I hear
Yeah.
he's going to the False Alarm tournament in Canada.
Oh,
It's hosted by my favorite podcast, Party of the All Points. He's
yeah.
gonna be playing there, so good luck to Dan, man. Go out there, show some support for us. We got you, bro.
Yeah, we know you're capable. We know you're rad. So you better go in there and make us proud.
Yeah, exactly. Go in there, get that dub. He's going in there too, like those Team Canada guys, bro. I shouted them out before. He's going into a Shark Tank. So good
Yeah,
luck
for
to him,
sure.
bro. He's playing some really, really good, talented players. I want to give a shout out to everyone at Gamers Guild, man. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys for giving us the big warm invite there. Rick, the ambassador, that guy's the man, bro. Super
Rick is the
inviting.
man.
It's super cool, dude. He's always there doing learn to plays. I believe they're doing a learn to play next weekend. If you want to come learn to play Spearhead or 40K, I think they're going to be there doing that. I want to give a shout out to Roman Reigns, bro. I want him to beat CM Punk at WrestleMania.
Oh,
So
me too.
big shout out to him. Other than that, man, just shout out to everyone who's been coming in, working with us, playing games. One more shout out to Nick. Nick, he also plays Sylvaneth down at Gamers Guild. So always
Yes.
love seeing the other Sylvaneth players. He's working on some super dope conversions. I'm excited. His Alarial looks sick. He's got like a little branch whiz hiding in this tree. He took, dude, super sick model. I'm excited to see it when it's done.
Yeah, if you have Sylvaneth in your backlog, in a closet, in a bin, you've been thinking about buying that Battle Force box or that
Now's the
Spearhead.
time.
It's the time, bro. It's the time. Get on board.
They've been dropping all these good boxes, and it sucks because like they've done all these boxes. I'm like, bro, it's sick if you want to jump into Sylvaneth. I'm already deep in Sylvaneth. You know what I mean? So these boxes are
What's there for the
good for me.
established player? Yeah.
Yeah, but like if you're getting into it, bro, these last few boxes, you buy like one of each of those, and you are set. You get yourself
Yeah.
that and a Lariel, like you're gonna be good to go. We got that
They
new
w-
Spearhead coming out. I'm super excited to play. I already have all the models, which is gonna be dope.
Overgrown mechanic is going to be cool and it's going to be overpowered.
Oh, I think so. It doesn't look like they FAQ'd a lot of the Nurgle stuff, which I was very surprised about when they did the rules updates this last
Made
week.
broadswords cheaper.
Yeah, I was like, are you guys playing the same game that we're all playing? They like you guys only got better, huh? That's
Yeah, bro.
weird.
Hey, they
I think
they know
Rodriguez went up 10 points, and it's like, dude,
people are still going to use them. Who cares? What's 10
yeah.
points?
Oh, exactly.
Yeah,
Like,
they know these models are selling, bro. They're not going to do anything with them.
yeah. So but I'm excited. Looks like Sigmar's got a good future. So shouts out to Game Workshop, man. Great job. Great game. If you've enjoyed this episode, make sure you stay connected with us at Instagram at rolling_recklessly_podcast. You could follow us on YouTube where you're watching us right now at Rolling Recklessly. And then you could jump on our Discord. The link's in my Instagram bio. So jump in there and find all the links to everything we got there. You can join our Discord, come hang out with us, share your list, hobby progress. Just let us know how the games are going. With that, we are getting close to ending this season. Episode 36 is going to wrap up season 2 for us. So this is episode 35. And we've got big things planned for season 3. And I'm super excited. As you see, we got the video going. Hopefully we'll be getting multiple episodes a week. We got a lot of new stuff. New look, new energy, new theme song. We're getting this whole thing leveled up.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. So until next time, may your crits be high, your paint ever dry, and your rolls ever reckless.
Hell yeah.